Hey everybody out there in YouTube land. Just wanted to follow up with some extra musings from my day one session for my therapy. One of the things he touched on was that I've been in survival mode my entire life, surrounded by toxic environments, trying to do my best to figure out how to live and thrive within those environments. Not really thriving, but maneuvering to basically find some level of comfort, to lessen pain. So it all starts in childhood. You really delved into my childhood on day one, trying to figure out what's going on. But another thing he reinforced too was that I didn't really have a voice. Didn't have a voice. My mom, even though she did the best she could, she was who I was primarily raised by, and I didn't really have an opportunity to be able to express myself verbally, which turned into me lashing out physically, punching walls and huffing and puffing, being angry, slamming doors, which would result in more physical violence towards me. And basically became conditioned in doing those same things as an adult. So yeah, it's one of the things he touched on. Another thing too was that he was saying didn't really have any trust that was able to be established in any of my relationships because of how I didn't have it as a young person with my mom. I was told by her never to trust anybody, including herself, which can be detrimental to establishing long-term relationships, whether they be friendships, whether they be romantic relationships. So it's one of the things I'm trying to figure out as well. Another thing too, and this was something outside of therapy that I thought about, I read, was talking about toxicity, and it was saying that everyone is toxic. Every single person on the planet Earth is toxic. Just everybody has different levels of toxicity, and but the other thing is, it's everyone has been a villain in someone else's story, whether consciously or unconsciously. But if you listen to Eckhart Tolle, any negative acts are unconscious acts. So it's all unconscious. So remembering that going forward, that one thing that my therapist told me was that forgiveness is at the root of healing, and keeping in mind that the people who enacted trauma against me, and even traumas that I've enacted upon other people, have all been rooted in suffering, self-suffering trauma, and trying to deal with it as it manifests in behaviors that are unsatisfactory. So I know we live in this cancel culture where any little thing you do is deemed worthy of human exile and being ostracized from society. But he was basically saying you got to forgive because it shows compassion, it shows empathy, that there's a root cause to all of our behaviors. So we need to exercise that as human beings more so. Instead of trying to cancel people out of society, we need to hope and pray for the healing of those individuals, because they're not going to disappear just because you cancel them. So all right, that's all. Thanks.